We are on day 3 of our project in Eldoret, the newest city in Kenya. So guys, today we want to dive into details. We want to look on the 8 key considerations you need to put in place before you even think of constructing a poultry house. And that's why I'm here on the site. Behind me is the work going on there, as you can see, which we are going to look on some of these 8 aspects in the real time, so that when you want to construct a poultry house, or when you give us a poultry house to do for you, you'll do it in the right place and in the right manner. The first thing which we normally consider when we are constructing a poultry house for you, immediately you approach us as NEO-HEN farms, what we normally ask, the first question we ask you, you need to have a poultry house of how many chicken. This assists us to know the size of the poultry house you are going to construct, because you cannot construct a poultry house without understanding the needs of the clients. So after we get the number of chicken you want, we normally prepare for you a document called the terms of reference, which now just gives you a simple description of how the house will look like, and also it gives each and every tiny details of the poultry house. It is just describes the structural design of the poultry house. Then with it comes with a quotation, which you are able now to see how much of each material you will need for the construction of the poultry house, so that you may not have some materials on the ground which are not needed. That's why we normally encourage and advise our customers that it is very much important to get with to kickstart the journey with experts and get to understand this thing into details. The good thing with the terms of reference is that the quotation gives you a roadmap of whether do I have this capacity to build this poultry house. I have seen poultry farmers make this major mistake where they build a very big poultry house, then they stock the poultry house with only around 100 to 200 birds, which normally becomes a loss to them. So this one is a very much important document and you need to have it. I did a previous video and I shown you the terms of reference and the quotation. And we are continuing so that we may be able to understand this thing into detail. After we issue you, our customers, with the terms of reference and the quotation, the next step we normally do is coming to site. As we did now to our client here in Eldoret City. We visited the site with my team, with one of my experienced engineers, to look on the site, how it looks like, and on the topography of the site. We need to understand what is the direction of the wind, where we are going to place the poultry house, and how are we going to construct the poultry house without compromising the standards which are required for a basic poultry house. Because if you get it wrong from the word go, what normally happens, you normally miss it, then you start getting losses from the time you invest in your birds. I have seen some scenarios where farmers construct a poultry house, then the rain comes, then you realize the house was built facing on the side where the wind is coming from. So what does it mean? When it rained, rain got into the poultry house, then it will kill all your chicken. So I want us to understand these minor basics. After we come to the site, we normally advise you what kind of a poultry house we need to construct, because there are different types of poultry house depending with the geographical conditions. Then the other aspect we look on is the climate of that area. You realize there are some areas in Kenya which are very cold there. So you realize the wall which we construct from the ground to the ventilation, we will need around 4 to 5 feet sometimes, so that the birds may not get very cold at night, which may lead to stampede, which may kill them during the process of investing in your project. Like in here, I'm going to show you why we chose to construct a poultry house of 3 feet from the ground to the where ventilation starts. So that's some of the basic things we normally do even at the initial process of the project. So guys, allow me now to get now into the project so that we may be able to see what is really happening on the ground as we look on other aspects which are also a key consideration in construction of the poultries. So guys, come with me as I'll be able to walk with you now to the site where we are doing these projects so that you may be able to understand each and every detail in a good, in a clear manner. So one thing I have told you, ensure that your project is located in a good location. When I talk of good location, I talk of good accessibility. Then we also talk about the availability of water and electricity. As you can see here, where our client is, you can see this is a road serving now to our client site. This is a road serving our client site, and you can see we have electricity here, and we have water piped in this project to ensure that our client flock gets access to enough water, and also there is electricity in case of any blackout, whether there is some machineries which the client may need. He will be able to have electricity and the water on site. The other thing we normally look at is the topography. If you are able to look on this site, this is a very flat area. We did a project in Kitengela, and the soil in Kitengela is the soil which normally comes together when it rains. So we had to do some excavation. But now in Uasin Gishu County, you can see the soil is very nice, so we never needed to do any excavation. So we only did the most basic things to ensure that we started our poultry house. So guys, first things first, let's look on the first things we normally did. After we did all that, the first thing we advise our client to do is to ensure that all materials are on site. And you can see from what you are seeing here, we have all the materials here and the project is ongoing. So see here, these are now the machine cut stones, which we are going now to build the wall from the ground to the ventilation. So we have the machine cut stones here, and we identified and we ensure that the site is also okay. The next thing we did, we ensured that the client procured all other materials necessary before our engineers reached to the site. So let's go there and see what normally happens. So make sure, before you even identify the place, make sure the place is very much accessible so that lorries which are going to bring the raw materials to you, they don't struggle now entering into a poultry farm. Because you may realize you have your poultry farm maybe in the interior parts of Kenya, which might cost you a huge amounts of money, which you should have used maybe to have your poultry farm near a good road network where it could be very much accessible. So make sure the road is very much accessible. Let's get now to what is happening here. As you can see, our engineers are very serious, doing very nice work. And I'm going to show you step by step what is happening. You can see we have the timber on site. The work is ongoing as usual. And I normally ensure when you give me work, I will supervise it from the time we start the work up to the time we are going to commission the work and hand over the work to you. So we have the timber here. Then this is what we have done. As I advised you in the previous videos, what normally happens when you are constructing your poultry house, don't use a very expensive materials. You have a very expensive foundation, which is going to cost you millions of money. Then what follows next? You realize all the money has gone now to the construction. Then what you remain with is very little money, which you are going now to invest now on the flock. The major investment in poultry farming comes in the stock, not in the construction. And that's why we normally advise our clients to look on models which are cheaper to construct and which can be good for the birds, so that the birds may not be affected by diseases, and also the birds are very much comfortable while living in the poultry house. So in this case, what type of a poultry house do we advise our client to look at? So we proposed to use the round poles and the timber and the iron sheets and the fencing wire alone. And I want to show you the basics now on this poultry house. And I want to show you the work which our engineers are doing, which is a very excellent work. We have a very excellent team, very trained, well-trained engineers who normally deliver exactly what's in your mind. So let me show you. So as you can see, immediately we came on this side, what we did, we realized the direction of wind is from this side, as you can see. So the only way we could build the house, the ventilation side, was to face on this other side. So the wind should not get directly into the poultry house, but should come to this place. This place we are going to construct it, or we are going to use the iron sheets, or we are going to cover it fully with taplons to ensure that the poultry house does not have direct access with the wind, or when it rains, water does not get into the poultry house, which might bring some losses now to the farmer. So that's why we normally advise, even on the terms of reference, your poultry house should be built on the east to west orientation. As you can see on this poultry house, we have the shorter side here, then we have the longer side on this side, as you can see, to ensure that we do the right thing. You can see the kind of work which our engineers have done. Just look on how this house is very straight. Just look on the round depots, how they have done a marvelous and an excellent job. Allow me to just climb on this timber. I hope I'm not going to fall. Let me try. At least I'm on the top. I just want to show you what our engineers are doing here on site. What we are doing now, we are preparing now the trusses to ensure that the roof is on top notch, and that we are not going to have a lot of work making the trusses down here, then we have them up here. We are going to construct them on top of the house, and you can see the work is progressing on very well. They are doing an amazing job. So these are some of the most basic things you need to put in consideration as you build your poultry house to reduce very many expenses which might cost you in the event you want to invest in poultry farming. And that's why we normally advise you, it is very much important to work with experts like us to ensure that you get your dream poultry house come into reality. You can even see, even some wild birds are really enjoying over the poultry house, but we are trying to make it very simple and easy for you to construct even at your place. So you can see, don't use like the metals to have it on this side instead of the round depots, because you are going to spend a lot of millions and millions of money on the poultry house, which will not make any sense in the long term. So make sure you use the basics, which are very much important in this poultry farming investment. I want to show you just around the poultry house to see how the engineers are doing an excellent job without a struggle. And that's why what we have specialized in, to ensure that you as our client, there is no point in time you are going to struggle to construct your poultry house and to work with you the journey. So what is going to happen in this poultry house, we are going to work with our client the journey. From now, we took the project from the inception, and we are going to work with the client from the construction to the stocking of the poultry farm to the time the client is going to reach the market. And as I've always told you, we not only provide our clients with quality SASO-F1s, but we ensure that our clients get a seamless technical support in their investment so that they may be able to do the right thing. That's why I am on site, I myself, to ensure everything is done in the proper manner. The other key consideration you need to put across, don't have your look on the location of other poultry farms. For you to succeed in poultry farming, as you have seen in my breeder farm is in the interior, but you realize there are some characteristics which are characterized by the breeder farm. You realize on the breeder farm, we are served by very good roads on the site, and we are served by water and electricity. Just that. The good thing by having your farm in the interior is the issue to do with biosecurity. As you can see on this site, we chose this site because this place is more secure than the other side on where we have come from on the other side. This one, you realize biosecurity measures and standards are going to be very high because very few people are going to interact with the birds. So ensure that your farm is located in a place where it's very much secure. There is not much interaction with the other farms or very many interaction with very many people coming into your poultry farm. That's why I normally advise you and tell you it is ideal to have your poultry farm located in the interior, provided it is served by water, electricity, good climate, and also security. But for security, you can have a security guard maybe to guard your investment at night, which is very much simple. So the issues to do with the security, I think, is not a major issue when it comes now to this aspects. So make sure your farm is located in a place where there are not very many people, as you can see. Allow me to flip the camera so that you may be able to see the location here where we are located this farm. You can see the only neighbor you can see is almost 2 kilometers away, farmer chair. The other neighbors, they are almost 800 meters away. So this one will make now this farm to be very much biosecure, and the owner is not going to make any mistake while doing the investment. The other aspect we normally look in poultry farming, what normally happens, we look on the waste disposal. How are you going to dispose the waste? Because sometimes this waste might bring some diseases in your poultry farm, which might harm your poultry farm in a big time. What I have seen now in my client site, he has a separate waste disposal area where now the waste will be disposed, then it will be collected from it from the other side of the poultry farm. This will ensure that the waste does not remain in the farm, and they also bring some diseases in the poultry farm. The good thing, they have some big lands, big tracts of land here in Uasin Gishu, where they can use the manure now in their poultry farms rather than leaving them now here in the poultry farm, which may bring a threat in the poultry farm. So guys, as you have seen, it is very much simple. When you follow these aspects I talked about, you realize you are going to succeed without a struggle. So anytime, make sure you do your poultry farming in the most simplest way. I normally advise my clients to make their poultry farming very simple and very stupid. Then they will be able to succeed. Because if you invest a lot of money now in this structure, you realize you will not have enough money now to invest in your flock. So make the simplest decisions which are not going to cost you a lot of money, as we have done. And as always, if you give us work, we normally ensure we deliver to you the best quality work without you struggling at your comfort of your place. And the good thing with us, we don't take any of your money. We allow you to take charge of all the money you are going to invest in the project. What we only charge on the labor which comes on your side. But on the procurement of the materials is in charge of the clients. We are not like the other fundis who tell you, just give us the money, we are going to deliver the projects. Then they do the projects after some time, then they run away. We normally ensure that we are very much transparent. You see the value of money. You see the value of each and every shilling you are going to invest in your business so that you may be able to succeed. Because if you are not going to invest with very honest people, I have seen some poultry farms close because the contractor decides now to do away with everything. He decides to steal from the client, and this is what I'm against. I normally ensure that your projects is delivered on time and delivered as they promised. The last key consideration, you look on the government regulations. You realize there are some places where the government is very keen on how you are going to do your constructions. But for these basic poultry structures, we don't need any permit or any licensing from the county government. In some instances, you realize in some places we may need the NEMA satisfaction, but here we don't need. So these are the key considerations you normally need. So guys, my name is Lenny, and I normally ensure that you do the right thing, you do the right investment before you meet these people outside here who are going to mislead you. So if you are watching me for the first time, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment so that we may continue doing more videos which are going to assist you learn on how to start and run a poultry farm. I not only supply farmers with quality SASO-F1 chicks, but I ensure that the farmer is very much competent about what normally happens from the project inception out to the end on how the client is going to market his or her products. So don't hesitate, give us a call. We are going to construct for you. We walk with you through the journey. We stock your poultry farm, and we work together with you at the time you are going to reach to the market. Thank you guys. I want to appreciate you. Let's meet guys in the next video. Thank you for keeping in touch.